Hello everyone and welcome into today's episode of Awaken Radio. It is so nice to be here with you today. I am genuinely really excited to be back on the podcast, and I'm really excited about this conversation. I actually have a lot of energy moving through my body around this conversation with you today and around what I want to share with you. And I feel excited to be back on the podcast because as I was sitting down to prepare for this episode and record this episode, I noticed how different I felt in myself. And I recognized how much I have shifted and changed in only a short period of time, how much transformation and change is happening within me at the moment. I genuinely feel in such a different energy and in such a different version of myself to even when I last recorded an episode, which wasn't even that long ago. And so sitting down today, I actually felt tears in my eyes. I felt this beautiful validation and recognition of the work that I'm doing. And I'm going to get teary now because I've been really, really deep in the work these past few months. And, at different times, if you follow me online or on the podcast, at different times you might notice I go a little bit quiet, I disappear a little bit and I share less content, or I'm sharing less of myself, and often it's just because I'm in something. I am a woman who is really committed to doing the work. I teach this work, but I embody this work, and I am so deeply devoted to my own healing journey and my own transformation and the ongoing dedication to living and breathing what I teach. And I've been in it these past couple of months, and maybe you have as well. Maybe you've been really, really in the work and had a lot coming up. And if so, I want you to know you're not alone and nothing is going wrong. It is actually so beautiful and so powerful. And if there's a lot coming up and you're really in it, it means things are transforming. Things are changing, and you just really have to trust that. And so this has really inspired me to have this conversation today. I've been learning so much over the past few months about really understanding the path of the feminine and really living as the feminine, embodying our feminine and truly walking the path of devotion to the feminine in our lives. And that's what this episode is about, the true path of feminine living. I really want to bring through the truth of this journey for you, because I've been teaching feminine work for probably about 4 years now. And I think it's really only this year that I have been deepening into the embodiment of this work in the way that I have. And so I really want to share what I've been discovering, and I want to share some things that I think are going to be, what you're going to recognize are the missing pieces. That when you really start to get these pieces, it's going to make sense why up until now things haven't been changing for you. Why maybe you've been doing the work, you've been reading the books, you've been maybe working with coaches or practitioners. Maybe you've been practicing meditation and journaling and bringing a lot of mindfulness and self-awareness and all that stuff, but you're still constantly getting triggered and you're still constantly getting caught in those patterns of self-doubt and unworthiness and comparison and perfectionism and self-judgment. And you're like, or triggers in relationships or unhealthy patterns in relationships. And you're like, why can't I seem to get out of these loops? And what I'm going to talk about today around this true path of feminine living, this true path of feminine embodiment, you're going to recognize why, and what has been some of the missing pieces for you. And this is stuff that I've kind of known for a long time, but I don't think I've been really implementing it and showing up for it in the way, in the way that I have now. Yeah, and I'm noticing this is one of the first times. I mean, I've gone through these seasons of life before where I've had big transformations, but this is a time where I'm really recognizing and I can really see, wow, things are changing on such a deep and visceral level within me. I am transforming, and this work is working. So when I very first got into doing personal development work, I was 19. So I've been doing this work for a really long time. I believe this is just my sole purpose. I believe that I incarnated into this lifetime with a shit ton of karma and some really difficult childhood experiences, a really challenging family environment, as a way to catalyze me into a big journey of growth and healing in this lifetime, which ultimately led me onto my purpose, which is to teach what I learn and embody and know. And so I've been doing this work since I was 19. I've been working as a coach and running my business for over 10 years. So I'm not new to this space. And if you're new to me and my work, if you're new to listening to me, I want you to know that I've been here for a long time, and I intend to be here for a long time. I'm not a fly-in to this industry at all. I am here for the long haul, and I have already been here for quite a long time. And so when I started my journey of transformation, what I'm recognizing was my focus was all on ascension. I just wanted to ascend. So I began discovering meditation, yoga, self-help books. I began creating sort of mindfulness and self-awareness within myself around my thought patterns. And I began working with my intuition. And I had all of this stuff within me that I didn't like about myself, all of this self-doubt and low self-esteem and body issues and an eating disorder and shame and guilt that I was carrying, and feelings of being small and limited and lacking confidence, all of this stuff. But I didn't want to deal with that. In fact, all I wanted to do was escape that. And so I got into this journey of personal development and spirituality particularly, and I got really excited about the idea of ascending, moving into the higher realms, embodying my higher self, embodying my soul, living in the light. I began to work on my chakras and my higher chakras particularly, began to awaken my higher chakras, began to be able to channel higher guidance, to leave my body during meditations and literally go other places. And I was all about, I want to be my highest self. I want to ascend. I want to live in the light. I want to be high vibration. And so I got really devoted to personal development and spirituality in the pursuit of that. But if you asked me to be with the energy of my lower chakras, to come into my body, to meet my shadow, to be with my inner child, to feel my uncomfortable emotions, no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't know how to do that. And every time I tried, I would only get so far before part of me pulled me out again, up into my mind and up into, oh, no, I just want to stay up in the light, in the higher energies. And so that's when my work really began for years. I kind of really focused with people on soul and spirituality and higher self and receiving guidance. And, I was definitely doing the deeper work. Like, it wasn't purely that, but I was definitely avoiding the lower sort of aspects of me, and the heavier, denser stuff, the shadow work. I would dip in and out, but it wasn't really a place I loved to spend much time. And so, as I said, when I started personal development work, journeying into my spirituality, my focus was ascension. But as I began to get into doing the feminine work and understanding working with my feminine and the need to work with my body, I began to recognize the path of the feminine is a journey of descent. It is not a journey of ascension. It is a journey of descent. It actually requires us to come in and down and to be willing to be with and meet those darker, messier, more imperfect, more chaotic, incomplete, negative, nasty, icky parts of ourselves that most of us just don't want to know about, that most of us spend majority of our time bypassing, pretending that it's not there. Journeying into the feminine, the true journey of transformation, really, of feminine transformation, of feminine embodiment, of actually being able to ascend, first requires you to descend. You can't ascend into your highest self if you are not first willing to be with your human self, to meet your very real human parts, and to go and tend to and be with what is unresolved in your body, in your subconscious, from your past. You have to go on that descent to be with what is unresolved for your human self before you can rise into being in complete alignment with your soul self. But when I started my journey, I wanted to skip all that and just go straight to being in the light. And that's where we end up seeing a lot of bypassing happening in this industry, bypassing happening in the spiritual space, pretending that if we just focus on the light, that the darkness will disappear. And almost pretending that we don't have darkness within us, which is bullshit. We all have darkness within us. Most of us just don't want to look at it. And most of us want to pretend it's not there. And I was talking to a friend about this the other day, actually, because she's really in the work at the moment too and doing a lot of inner child work. And we were talking about this theme that we've noticed sort of collectively of shadow work that's actually, I think, been really going on since 2020. I had an interesting download. This is just a side tangent, but I had an interesting download at the start of 2020. Well, it was at the end of 2019. I got this very clear download that 2020 was going to be a very light-filled year. There was going to be a huge influx of light in 2020. And I remember thinking, amazing, this is going to be a year of ascension and expansion and upper leveling and all the good feeling stuff. No, but what does light do? You bring in a huge amount of light, it shines a light on things, it illuminates things, it illuminates the shadow. It helps you see things that were previously hidden. So if things were hiding in the shadows, you bring in light and you see what's there. And that's what happened for a lot of us in 2020. All of our shadows became illuminated collectively and individually. And a lot of us have been on a deep journey of shadow work since 2020, and we're still in it. Our planet has been on a journey of shadow work, of actually looking at and facing and feeling what has been hidden in the shadows that I have not been willing to look at and not willing to feel. And so this journey of descent that I'm talking about, which is the path of the feminine, because there's so much coming through I want to say. I'm just really feeling numerous trains of thought dropping in, but let me go with this. So the feminine. When we really look at what it means to live embodied in our feminine and live in devotion to our feminine, it is not just the surface sweet stuff, the light and fluffy stuff that we see online and that maybe even I have at times perpetuated through my work. This idea of being sweet and soft and flowy and, it's the way we dress, it's the way we look, it's the way we move energy through our body. It's our ability to be radiant and in our pleasure and in our sensuality and to play and to rest and to surrender and be in the flow. And absolutely, that is an aspect of the feminine, and that is a doorway into your feminine, and that is a way for you to feel more feminine energy in your life and in your body. But that is not ultimately and truly what the path of the feminine is about. And I am recognizing this at the moment through the deep inner work that I am doing. The path of the feminine is a path of feeling, The path of the feminine is a path of shadow work and healing. It is a path of being willing to meet and hold and be with all of the parts of yourself that you have been shaming, judging, neglecting, avoiding, and pushing away and pretending are not there. The path of the feminine is a path of being willing to feel and hold and be with the stuck and blocked energy and emotion in your body, the unresolved pain, the unresolved issues. The path of the feminine is the path of holding your inner child, reparenting, remothering or refathering that child and giving them what they never got to receive. The path of the feminine is a path of being in the body and being able to stay present in your body to all of the sensations and emotions that arise, no matter how uncomfortable they are. That is the path of the feminine, the true path of feminine living. And this is the true path of self-liberation. This is the true path of self-empowerment. And this is the only way to truly transform. What I was explaining to you earlier around this path of ascension that I've been on for so long, and not only ascension, but heady-based approaches to change and transformation, like mindset work. Mindset work has its place, but it's not enough. You know, this is where we're really coming from the masculine. I was very much bringing masculine principles of self-development and personal growth to myself. The masculine is about consciousness and awareness and being the witness. So I spent a lot of years witnessing my ego and witnessing my self-talk and bringing conscious awareness to my patterns, journaling on it, meditating, re-anchoring into the frequency of my higher self. And, you know, being in stillness with those parts of me. That is a masculine approach. When we bring in the feminine approach, we don't just bring in awareness and consciousness. We want to transmute that. And the only way to transmute it is to be with it and to feel it and allow the energy to move. To allow energy to move through you as wildly and chaotically and crazily as it needs to have cathartic releases of emotion, to go into the depths of yourself and recognize on a subconscious level the programming and patterns that you are carrying, that are built into you from childhood, that are defining you every single day. No amount of conscious change can transform that. No amount of mindset work can actually move stuck and blocked energy in your body that is causing you to stay looping in the same patterns over and over and over. It's a journey of coming into the body. This feminine path, this true path of transformation, it requires you to be able to be with your shadows, to look at those parts of yourself that you've been avoiding, to feel everything, to hold yourself through it. And my experience of this at the moment is that when you do that, things start to feel a little bit crazy and chaotic. It is easy for you to feel like you're going backwards, like there's so much wrong with you. You know, I even did a story the other day on Instagram just saying, remember to not identify with your challenges and to not identify with what's coming up in your healing journey and to not make it mean anything about you. Because what happens is we collapse into everything that's coming up and we begin to re-identify with it and think, I'm so broken, I'm so flawed, there's so much wrong with me. Look how many struggles and challenges I'm having. Look how much pain there is in my body. Look at all these small stuck parts of me, and we think it's who we are. We begin to re-identify with being the wounded, broken version of ourselves that needs healing, that needs to be fixed. And we begin to collapse into smallness. And we forget that the whole reason we're doing this work is because we're on the path of empowerment and liberation. We're actually reclaiming our power from those parts, not re-identifying with them. And so when we go in and do that work, we have to remember, and I use this mantra all the time, this is rising because it is clearing. These parts of us are being illuminated because they're ready to be released. And the only way to release them is to feel them. So the path of true transformation, of true feminine living, is a path of descent into the body, into feeling more deeply than you've ever felt before, into being able to stay in your body with the intensity of the sensations or the discomfort or the shame or the grief or the pain or the heartache or the guilt or the emotion that comes up. Not escaping, not disassociating, not overanalyzing, staying in it. And meeting those parts of you that are within you that are still needing love, that are feeling starved, and going to give those parts of yourself what they need. Because when we walk the path of the feminine, when you really start to connect with, what does it look like to live as the divine feminine, as your divinely empowered woman, where you are no longer just living as like a child in an adult's body, where programming and patterns that were installed in you at the age of 5 are still running your decisions now, your choices now, your actions and behaviors now. That's what's happening. When you get triggered, you regress back to a child. And then we get caught in those patterns and we can't seem to liberate ourselves from them. Because we notice them, but we don't actually go in and meet them and be with them and feel them and hold them in the way that we need to for them to transform. We just do our mindset work and bring conscious awareness to it and think that's enough. It's not enough. It's not enough to create the change that you're craving. What's needed is that deep path of descent into the body. And so this path of feminine living, like I was saying, living as your divine feminine, as your divinely empowered woman, she is the part of you that wants you to be liberated from all of this. She wants you liberated from your smallness. She wants you reclaiming your power. She wants you sovereign and whole. She wants you deeply loving yourself. She wants you knowing your worth, because how the fuck else can you create the type of life that you want to live? Sorry for the F-bomb, but when this stuff comes through, I feel it so strongly that I really need you to get it. The woman within you that you're here to be, the divinely empowered woman, the divine feminine, she wants you liberated from all of these things that are keeping you small and stuck. So she will guide you into the shadows. She will guide you into your pain. She will initiate you into a healing journey so that you can be free, so that you can be the woman you're truly here to be. So when you commit to going on the path of living the feminine, which is a decision I made about 4 years ago, strap on your seatbelt, because she's going to take you on a journey. She's going to take you on a wild ride, and she's not going to let you live on the surface of life anymore. She's not going to let you play out people pleasing and lacking boundaries and not being able to say no and not being able to speak your truth and ask for what you want. She's fierce. She's going to say, you need to look at that. You need to clean that up. You need to go back and be with your inner child. You need to look at this piece of programming. You need to go into your body and feel that shame that you never felt. You need to go and make peace with all of your imperfect, messed up, crazy parts and integrate them and love them as part of who you are. She's going to be fierce in calling you onto the path of empowerment, not through spiritual bypassing love light ascension work, but by descending into the body and transforming, literally healing, shifting and moving the energy, releasing the blocks and transforming yourself from the inside out. But it's in the body. It's by going in and into the murkiness and the darkness and the places you don't want to go. That is where the feminine is going to take you. That is the true path of feminine living. And if you want to live your feminine, not just so that you can feel more feminine, but if you want to live in your feminine because you want to be truly sovereign and whole and empowered in your life, you want to live connected to life force energy, The feminine is Shakti life force energy that moves through us. It is the creative force that creates everything on this planet. She is pure desire of who you're here to be, what you're here to create, your purpose, your mission, the family you want to have, the version of yourself you want to be. She wants you to be that, and she is moving through you, constantly guiding you to become aware of everything that is keeping you out of alignment with that. And that is the journey that I've been on. I've been on it for several years, but I've been on it more intensely than ever before over the past few months. As you may know, I've mentioned this before, I'm in a facilitator training course at the moment. I'm training in feminine embodiment and tantra as a facilitator of this work to deepen my skill set. And when I joined this program, I spoke to my mentor, Carrie, and she said, "Why do you want to do this program?" And I said, I've been working in this industry for so long and I've been teaching feminine work for years, but I just know there's deeper for me to go. And I want to be the true embodiment of this work. I want to embody this. I want people to feel that this is who I am. I want my very presence to activate you because I am in such deep embodiment of these principles and this work. And that's what I'm committed to. And so the true path of the feminine is a path of shadow work, of inner child healing, of trauma work, of releasing trauma through the body, of feeling, of being with your most uncomfortable sensations, and ultimately reclaiming your power. Reclaiming your power from those things that have kept you small and stuck and held back and diminished for way too fucking long. We need you. The world needs empowered women. The world needs women liberated from all of this stuff that has been projected on us throughout our whole lives. We need to walk the path of our own reclamation, and now is the time. And this requires us to not only be devoted to the spiritual path, but to the human path. The path of the feminine is the path of the human. Honoring and respecting the very real human parts of you, your human journey, your human pain, your human suffering, your human struggle, never avoiding or bypassing that. Never disassociating from that, never making that wrong, never trying to rush that part of you along, but deeply honoring the part of you that needs to move slowly and delicately through your own journey of transformation, and really honoring everything that your human self is feeling as you progress through your healing and your empowerment and transformation journey. It's big, but and there have been times that I've been in it these past few months. Even the other night I said to my partner, I just want to give up. I said, I feel like I'm losing everything. Everything's falling apart. And that's what you'll feel sometimes. Because the feminine will rip through your life and she will demolish everything that is out of alignment. And she will ask you to question everything that's not honoring you. She will ask you to let go of anything that does not value your worth, that does not light you up. She will bring everything back into alignment. She will rip things out of your life that aren't serving you. Like, this is the path, and this is what we experience. And I don't want to make it sound dark and heavy and difficult. But the only way out is through. It's the way, it's going through. And you can skip it all you want. And if you do, you will spend years looping and looping and looping and apparently doing the work, but wondering why nothing is changing. But if you can go deep, even for a few months, and you can go in and through, then you will come out the other side transformed. Just like when I sit down to record a podcast and I'm like, whoa, I see a completely different version of myself reflected back right now. Yeah? You actually experience true transformation, true shifts and changes in your identity, in who you're being, in how you show up, in how you navigate triggers, in whether you even actually feel triggered, in how powerful you feel, in how free and liberated you feel. So So much is changing within me. I've been a little bit introverted and bunkered down the past few months, but I'm emerging, and there's going to be a lot of new energy I think you're going to feel and experience from me. And so I am so excited that I'm going to be leading another round of Divine Femme really soon. It is such perfect timing. I mean, this course is probably the course more than any other program that is the most deep reflection of me and the work that I've been doing for the past 10, 15, even 20 years of personal development work that I've been doing. I have been reworking Divine Femme. I have been tweaking and changing this program, upgrading this program to be a much deeper reflection of really what I want to teach about the feminine. So this round of Divine Femme, I think, is probably going to be the most powerful round I've ever run. If you've ever felt drawn to this program, if you've ever felt drawn to work with me, this is the round to be a part of. Like, if you could feel any of the energy you felt from me today, you're going to feel that times 1,000 in this program. So Divine Femme is my signature 3-month program for women. It is a transformational healing journey, a journey of self-liberation, of feminine embodiment. It is where we go and be with your inner child. We be with your body. We meet your shadows. We transform your subconscious programming. We liberate yourself from all of the programming and patterns that have been keeping you small for way too long. We look at self-doubt, people-pleasing, comparisоnism, that high-achieving, perfectionist aspect of you, that part of you that finds your worth and value through what you achieve, through how much you give. We begin to reclaim your feminine and bring your masculine and feminine into balance and harmony so they're working together. We activate your feminine energy more deeply than ever before in your body, and we awaken your feminine power. We look at your self-worth, your self-confidence, your boundaries, your capacity to speak your truth, to say no, and to step into your full divine feminine power. That is what this journey is. It is going to be incredible. It is filled with live masterclasses, coaching calls, and I'm creating a whole new library of embodiment practices to go with this program because it's the embodiment work, which is where things really change and transform. This is not just a course where you just learn information. This is a course where I hold you through embodied transformation. So the next round of Divine Femme is opening soon. If you want to learn more about the program and also add your name to the wait list, you can go to conniechapman.com/divinefemme. I'll put the link in the show notes. I plan to be opening up enrollments in the next couple of weeks with the course beginning around mid-September, I believe. So to be updated on that, to get access to pre-sale discounts and all those things, make sure you're on the wait list. Because this round of the program is just going to be next level. I know it because the way I teach is such a reflection of who I'm being and where I'm at, and I can feel the change in me. And you're going to get to experience that in terms of the depth I can take you to, the space I can hold, and the type of content and energy that's now moving through me and the type of transmissions that you're going to receive. And the work I've been doing, I think, is I'm seeing my blind spots more deeply than I ever have before. And as I deepen that in myself, I have greater capacity to see that in you and to be able to call out and identify and really see the places where you're limiting yourself, you're holding yourself back, and then get to the root cause of that, transform that, and then you can walk that path of liberation and self-empowerment and really finally getting to truly create what you want in your life from clean, clear life force energy rather than from your old programming. It's a completely different way of creating and living your life. So you can go to conniechapman.com/divinefemme to register your interest, to learn more about the program. I have all the information up there for you now. So this really came through as a big transmission. I was very intentional that I didn't want to create notes or a script for this episode. I really just wanted to come on and let this move through. I guess if you relate to some of the things that I've spoken about, just know you're not alone. We really are collectively doing big healing. If you have been really being guided to be in your body and be working through sensation and in trauma and doing the inner child work, again, trust this is the divine feminine moving through you, initiating you, and helping clear out what is blocking you living in full alignment with her energy. Nothing goes wrong here. Yeah, there's no mistakes in what you're experiencing. If you're feeling this, know that you're being called deeper into your body, you're being called deeper into your feminine, you're being called deeper into your power, and you're being called deeper into integrating both your human self and your spiritual self, yeah? Living as your most empowered, divine soul expression, but also incarnated in a human form. We can't escape or avoid one or the other. We are both, and we need to be integrated in both. Just like we need to be integrated in both our masculine and feminine, But I tend to talk a lot about the feminine just because that's the area for a lot of us as women that, really needs the most work and is the energy that we're really here to be very deeply integrated in. So thank you for being here for this episode. This felt super fire. This felt really tapped in, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have some more episodes coming, with similar themes over the next few weeks. So make sure you're subscribed to Awaken Radio so you don't miss an episode. If you love this podcast, please leave me a review. Written reviews on Apple Podcasts are just so supportive for helping this show reach more people. If you love this episode, you can share it on your Instagram stories and tag me at Connie_Chapman. You can send it on to a friend. And if you want to dive deeper with me, learn more about Divine Femme, add your name to the wait list. It's going to be literally transformational. It's going to be so good. Okay. So until next time, my loves, thank you so much for being tuned into Awaken Radio, and I look forward to talking to you again next time.